Welcome back to my table. My name is Daniel, and I'm Stombaugh, and I'm just a guy who's identified how loved and adored I am by God. It is my passion and my purpose in life to help everybody I meet understand their place of value and their place of belonging to God, His heart, and in His kingdom. And one of the ways that I've been allowed to do that is to write a book called Solomon's Song. It's a 90-day devotional, and we're working through that devotional one day at a time here on these videos, and we're actually on day number 26 today. And I love today's passage because one of those passages that it's a phrase that you hear, you see it a lot. If you see a lot of wedding decor or things, you'll find this verse somewhere. You're going to find this passage on a card or on a plaque or on something, and I think it's a phrase that we use so flippantly that we don't truly understand the depth of it. And I'm excited about today's video because it really jumps into this passage and into that phrase. And so we're just going to get started, day 26 in the devotional, and we're in Song of Solomon chapter 2 and verse number 16. So the bride is speaking, and if you remember right, the king, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, the king has taken the bride on this journey through the kingdom. He has been doing this intentionally to repair soul wounds. It's an awesome picture of God in our life, and whenever God invites us into a deeper level of relationship or understanding with Him, it is always for the purpose of us understanding something about His heart for us. Anytime God invites you to spend time with Him, it is so that you will benefit from that experience and grow closer in your understanding of God's heart for you. So the king has strategically planned this trip for her. He came to her bedroom door, if you remember a couple of videos back, and he knocked on the door, and he asked her to come away with him. And he said, "I want to show you something." And he did. He took her to a spot in the kingdom that could only be seen for all of its maximum beauty at a certain season. There's a beautiful message there about the power of seasons in our life. And then he showed her that, and he took her to the grapevine. He showed her this place that would have held some bad memories for her, maybe some hurts and wounds. But in order to move forward with your story, you've got to own it. You've got to own your story, or your story will own you. And so Solomon was taking his bride. He said, look, in his mind, Solomon's like, you were made for royalty. You're made to be my queen. And you cannot go into a kingdom as a queen with a place of elevated power with an understanding that is back here in a place of poverty. You cannot advance to positions of power and influence if your mindset is stuck back in here in a position of I'm a victim and woe is me and everyone's done me wrong, did me wrong, like a country song, and you can't move forward from that. You have to have an edge on you, then have to have a maturity. And he takes her to this vineyard and he showed it to her, and we looked at that in the last video. And so now she is taking time to speak to him. They're walking together through the vineyard. He's just explained to her about the power of her potential. And as that barrier in her mind falls to the ground, and as that wound is salved over in her spirit, she looks up at him. Her eyes are full of tears. Her heart is overwhelmed. A hurt has just been addressed. A wrong has just been addressed with her. A pain has just been noticed and cared for. And she looks up at him, and she makes this statement we're about to read. She says this: "My beloved is mine, and I am his. He feedeth among the lilies." I love that statement. I love it, love it, love it. And I think the reason why I love it so much is that she's making more than just this beautiful statement that sounds nice or that will look good on a Pinterested palette wood decoration for a wall somewhere. She's making a statement from her heart, and it's not something that's light. It's not something that's given away. This does not strike me as the kind of person that just speaks for the benefit of speaking. I was taking a trip on an airplane just a while back here, and the lady that was sitting next to me, she had this tattoo on her finger, and it was right here on the side of her finger. And as we were talking, the plane started to take off, and we were just kind of making small talk about the trip and the travel. And I noticed her tattoo, and I think it's interesting when I see tattoos. I will ask about them. There's a day where I used to maybe make judgments about people with tattoos, but no, every tattoo that somebody has a story, and usually people want to talk about their story. And so I said, "Hey, that's an interesting tattoo on your finger." I said, "What is that?" And she covered it up with her hand, and she says, "That's a word that I'll never say." And I said, "Okay, you'll never say that word, but you'll put it on your body." And she said, "Well." She said the word is actually, it's the word love. I said, "You'll never say the word love?" And I said, "Why is that?" And she said, "Well, in your culture, love is such a freely used word. You give it away for everything. You say, I love French fries, or I love cats, or I love that movie." She said, "Because love doesn't mean much to you. You give it away for everything, and you give it away to people, and you pull it back, and it's just not something that's deeply connected with your soul." So in my culture, this word love, said it means something, and I have never found anyone yet to say that word to. I said, "Man, I'm so interested in that." I said, "So what culture are you from, or what's your culture?" And she said, "It's Arabic." And I said, "It's amazing that your culture is Arabic." I said, "Do you speak Arabic?" "Yes." "Do you read it?" "Yes." I said, "Okay." I said, "I actually wrote a book about love, and I'm in the process of getting that book translated into Arabic." And so we talked about the Song of Solomon, like the entire flight, and before long, the plane was landing, and we had back and forth discussed this concept of God loving us like this. She said, "I am my beloved's and he is mine." It was not this casual statement she was making. It stood for something within her spirit, and she said, "I am my beloved's." And the power of that was that Solomon took her to be his bride. He didn't just take her into the palace as someone just to live with him. He took on the responsibility to protect her and to connect with her and to direct her. And he became hers. He became her person to follow. He became her person to cling to trust. The statement was a pact, as she said, "I am my beloved's and he is mine." It was a pact of the soul, the body, and the spirit. And at the end of the day, it boils down to understanding that you and I belong to God. Like we say, "I am my beloved's," but when I say that, "I am God's and he is mine," what I'm really saying is that he is mine to follow. He is mine to trust. And he is mine to cling to. For my security, for my affirmation, for my value, for my love. And not only that, but I am his. I am his to connect with. I am his to protect, and I am his to direct. And when I make the statement that I belong to God, I'm saying that I am truly his, that he has that place in my life, that it's God that does the directing, it's God that does the protecting, and it's not my job now to defend myself against somebody. It's God's job. He is mine. I'm his, and he protects me, and he directs me, and he connects with me. And I look at that statement in such a powerful way. It's saying I am his. And that statement, "I am his," acknowledges something that I think that we miss. If I am his, then I am not my own. If I am his, then I am no longer my own. I'm going to let that set for a minute. Because if we truly make that statement, we either have to believe it or we're speaking hypocritically. And if that's the case, we might as well not even say it. We might as well just be honest and say, I want the benefits of God's kingdom. I want the benefits of that royal relationship. But I have no intention on being faithful. I have no intention on truly giving myself to the King. We are God's to protect. We are his to direct. And we are his to connect. This is more than a beautiful statement. It's a declaration of our will. Now, let me ask you a question. Here's our question for the devotional here. Are there any areas of your life that you have given to the King in name only? What does it mean to you to say that you belong to God and that God belongs to you? That's your question for the day, to think about that. What does that mean to you to say, I am God's and he is mine? Because if you would ask the shepherd girl, what does that mean? My beloved is mine and you are his. What does that mean? She would give you the rundown I just gave you. What does it mean when you say it about the King of Kings? What areas of your life have you just given to the King in name only? That's our devotional today. I cannot wait for that. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, whenever you watch the next video, I do these every day with our group that's going through on Facebook with it. But next time we get together, the next video, we're talking about that song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I love that kind of day. Whenever I hear that song in the store, I jam out now for a different reason, because it strikes a chord with me about my relationship with God. I can't wait to share this with you, because I promise you, once you hear it, you'll never look at that song together the same way again. And when you're in the store and you hear that song, or in your car and you jam out to it, you are going to have a small worship session going on next time you hear it. That's the next time we meet. Hope you have a fantastic day today, and we'll talk at you later. Bye-bye now.